you? It's emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
My mum's fallen down. She's not waking up.
How old is she?
75.
Is she awake?
Oh, my dad just called me now. He says that she's not waking up. She's an epileptic.
Okay.
So she only coughs out at night times, not during the day.
Okay. I'm getting help for you now, okay?
Please, immediately.
We've got a 75-year-old female, unconscious, not waking up, possible seizure.
Yeah.
Sometimes these turn out to be a cardiac arrest when you rock up, because people can't really identify when someone's, or they're reluctant to identify someone who's in cardiac arrest.
Seizures are one of those jobs that I dread going to. They're so time critical and quite complex. Really gets my adrenaline going because we need to get there, because when people are seizing, there's no oxygen going to their brain, and the longer that they seize for, the longer that their brain is starved of oxygen. So if we don't get there and administer our medication to stop their seizure, quality of life is going to be affected, or they could potentially die.
Okay, buddy. That's all right, wait. Ma'am, stop. I need to help her.
Tonight,
Day 2 of plus 40.
a record heat wave has the city at boiling point.
Have you got any tingling in your fingers or your feet? Keep your head still.
When it's 45 degrees, it doesn't take much to tip people off.
You've had a decent fall.
And a heinous act of violence
So a female that's been assaulted by her partner.
leaves paramedics reeling.
I know the heat brings out agitation and short tempers, but oh, sweetheart.
Unprecedented access from the control centre
If that dies, I'm going to come and find you, gun.
See, there's no need to threaten me. I'm trying to get help to you.
to the paramedics on the front lines,
Back to 99 proceeding to the airport.
fighting to save lives.
Can you open your eyes for us?
These are the stories behind the lights and sirens
How are you?
of New South Wales Ambulance. Paramedics Marco and Chen have raced to a 75-year-old female, unconscious after suffering a seizure.
Ma'am, stop. I need to help her. Okay?
Treating the patient soon is critical,
Ma'am, can we just get you out of there just so we can treat you, okay?
as prolonged seizure can increase the risk of brain damage and death.
Being on scene with a patient that their loved one's present and watching them in that state, it's very hard to manage that raw emotion, that feeling. They're pretty much thinking that their loved one's dying in front of them. And one of the hardest part of this job is to help that person through that situation. Sorry, what's your relationship to this lady? All right.
This is my mum.
So this is your mum. Does she suffer from epilepsy?
Yeah, but only at night when she's asleep.
When was her last seizure? Does she usually have seizures?
Only at night when she sleeps.
Yeah, but is it quite often that she has seizures?
Not often, every 2 months.
That's pretty often. When there's a language barrier, that sort of magnifies everything as well. It's obviously really hard to try and reassure someone that doesn't speak your language. What's happening at the moment, your mother's having a prolonged seizure.
Yeah.
Can you find out off your father how long she's been in this state for?
About 18 minutes.
Seizure activity for more than 5 minutes is classified as prolonged seizure. The longer a prolonged seizure lasts, the higher the risk of brain injury.
What I need you to do is get her medications together for me.
Prolonged seizure is a risk for the estimated 250,000 Australians living with epilepsy.
I'm going to give her some medication to stop the seizure and we're going to take her up to hospital, okay?
We have a very strong medication that we administer to stop seizures, and if that's not working, then this patient needs to be in hospital, and they needed to be in hospital probably 5 minutes ago.
So, is your mother allergic to anything?
No.
No? Does she take any other medications for anything else?
Blood pressure.
So she has high blood pressure? Any cardiac issues?
No.
Watching these people go through this, it's heartbreaking. It can be quite traumatic looking at us putting needles in, putting tubes down their throat.
Sorry, man, can I just get you out? I'll wait for a second.
I certainly wouldn't want to be watching that if it was my loved one. So it's really important to include them in what we're doing and try our best to make it less traumatic for them. You want them to feel like you are doing everything possible.
So she stopped seizing now after that medication I've given. All right, but we're going to go up to hospital. I've just got another crew coming. Joanna, can you squeeze my hand?
After 20 minutes, the patient has stopped seizing, but she is still unconscious.
She's never had this type of seizure. They only last a few minutes.
Never problem like this all my room, my sleep.
Yeah, so she usually has wake-up seizures.
Yeah, okay.
Wake-up seizures, or nocturnal seizures, occur during sleep. It's estimated only 12% of people with epilepsy have nocturnal seizures.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So you go first, man.
It's a job where you come across people at their most vulnerable, and being part of that process of helping and caring is something that's very special and unique.
Given the severity of the seizure, both Marco and Chen will stay with the patient as she's moved to hospital.
Sustained seizures, I've been fortunate enough to only have 3 of them in 10 years, and one of them was a little child, and I've never been more terrified in my whole life, and to the point where I couldn't follow up what happened to them because I was too scared.
Hello, my sweetheart. How are you feeling? You've had a very big seizure this morning. You're in the ambulance.
After 35 minutes, the patient has regained consciousness.
Can you wiggle your fingers for me? Good girl.
Despite having epilepsy, this is the first time the patient has had a prolonged seizure. She requires further tests to uncover the cause and to prevent further incidents.
Epilepsy it's just a devastating condition. It affects every aspect of these patients' lives. Some people aren't able to have driver's licenses. Some people can't work normal jobs. Some people need full-time carers. How they manage to live normal lives as best they can with this condition. It's incredible. They're amazing people.
It's the start of the day shift, and paramedics are preparing for one of the hottest days of the year.
So, day 2 of plus 40.
Oh.
Definitely need to drink more water today.
Yeah. Dude, I don't have sunglasses again today. No sunglasses is supposed to be the hottest day on earth.
I can't deal. I've been here, what, 10 years, and I'm still not acclimatised to mainland weather.
Really? Doesn't get to 40 in Tassie? No?
22 and everyone's dying.
Ambulance emergency, what town or suburb?
It's 9 a.m. in the Sydney Control Centre, and the temperature is already approaching 30 degrees in some suburbs.
Have you something there to keep you cool? If you dampen a face washer and maybe put it on your forehead?
December and January this summer are on their way to being the hottest ever recorded in Australia.
They said there's going to be a 17% increase in emergency admissions today. We should be expecting a lot of people that'll be dehydrated, feeling faint.
So he fainted and fell out of the golf cart, did he?
Yes. Ambulance emergency. Tell me exactly what happened. My wife overheated. She's overheated.
During heat waves, ambulance call-outs in New South Wales go up by more than 10%.
She's been lying down all day. She's barely eaten. I think the heat waves get into it. My 18-month-old son, he feels hot, very hot.
And in summer, 50% more people visit the beach on a weekly basis.
Ambulance emergency, tell me exactly what's happened.
So there's a 13-year-old female with a suspected spinal injury.
Do we know what happened? Was she dumped in the water? Or...
So apparently a board has hit her in the head.
Okay, I'm organising help for you now. Stay on the line and see exactly what to do next.
So the beaches are common areas to get jobs over summer. People being done by waves.
Duty Operations Manager Paul is en route to the injured 13-year-old. A paramedic crew in Ambulance 417 is about to arrive on scene. Paul is just 4 minutes behind them.
The worst case scenario with the trauma with being hit in the head by a surfboard is either having bleeding on the brain or receiving a spinal injury that causes damage that's irreparable, that changes the patient's life.
In Australia, around 234 people become para or quadriplegic each year. At the scene, it's Paul's job to manage crews and ensure all necessary care is taken.
Hello, guys. Hello, mate.
So, 13.
Yep.
In the back flat board. She's got scraps. Okay.
What was your first name?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Do they call you Macca for short or something?
Yeah.
All right. Are we all right to call you Macca?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Macca.
It's the most crucial thing to make a child feel so safe and comfortable whilst you're at a job. What worries you the most? The pain in your neck?
Yeah.
Spinal injuries require a fast but really methodical way of treating it.
So this is going to feel quite tight. Yeah. Okay, you tell me if it's
Right.
pinching your ears.
Do you want to get your finger out? Big thing with this collar is don't drop your chin too far.
Okay.
Are you able to keep it up like that for me?
Yeah.
You're a good girl. If a fast response isn't provided to these patients, the patient can deteriorate to a point where they become quadriplegic or paraplegic. You know what your job is? Keep your head still.
Okay.
That's the only job you've got.
Okay.
All right? Have you got any tingling in your fingers or your feet?
No.
No? And when you say no, you're not allowed to shake your head. You've got to keep your head still. One job. You got one job?
Okay.
What was your job? What was your job?
Not to move my head.
Correct. What we're going to do is we're going to put you onto this bed, on this board.
Okay.
And then we're going to roll you. We're going to take this board away. Okay. And you'll be on a bit of a softer bed then.
Okay.
And we'll take you up there. We're going to slide up towards you.
You want me to still hold this?
No, that's okay. When we move this patient, we've got to be really careful that we keep the spine in line and that we don't bump it and we don't move it aggressively. We don't move it in any way that's going to cause further injury. What we don't want to happen is for a stable neck fracture to become an unstable neck fracture and cause some serious spinal injury. See you girls. See you next one. Bye.
Paramedics in Ambulance 417 will transport the patient to hospital for full spinal scans.
As a parent, I hate to see any child at risk or in pain. I look at these kids the same as my kids. This young girl is the same age as my daughter. The damage that can be caused to the spine can cause her to be either in a wheelchair or not being able to move her arms and legs for the rest of her life. I've had to deliver terrible news to parents and it breaks my heart. But I hope this patient is not critically unwell.
Ambulance emergency, tell me exactly what's happened.
Well, mate of mine's just collapsed. It was like he's made out of heart attack.
Okay, is he awake?
Oh? Alright, no, I'm not out, but I'm on a fucking phone to you.
It's 12 p.m. and across the city, temperatures are rising rapidly.
Does he have a history of heart problems?
Why don't you come and find out?
You know the term when you say someone's blood's boiling? Well, when it's 45 degrees outside, it doesn't take much to tip people off.
It's your brain state.
Sir, you don't need to abuse me, so just listen to me.
I'm confused alone, mate. You don't know how to use your computer.
Yeah.
Tell you how to get in.
Everyone's just a little bit less patient, a little bit more desperate, a little bit more irritated and aggravated.
What's your name, mate?
My name's Josh.
Josh what? This bloke dies, I'm going to come and find you, cunt. Go on, eh?
Well, see, there's no need to threaten me. I'm trying to get help to you.
Sorry, I'm not threatening you. I'm giving you a promise. If you can't do
Sir, stop swearing. You're talking to a supervisor now. Now, you are delaying the ambulance, so please try and help us to get the ambulance to the person that needs it quickly.
You're right. It's okay.
Sorry, you have to deal with that. It's unacceptable. Josh is very new in the jobs. He dealt with that exceptionally well. But you know, that's not saying that call takers that have been doing the job for, 15 years, it doesn't affect them.
Each year, New South Wales ambulance call takers will be abused by nearly 10% of callers. With more than 1 million calls received each year, that's nearly 100,000 times.
Ambulance emergency, what town or suburb, please?
It's hard. I get nothing out of swiping. It doesn't tell me anything about a person.
Even though the girl has to message the guy first, I feel like I still end up making the effort because you just get, hey, hi, hello.
Serious?
Hey, Charlie.
In Ambulance 303, Charlie and Danny are waiting for their next call out.
Let me see.
She doesn't even have anything written on it, so.
It's just photos.
Just photo.
They're all from the same angle.
Hello. It'd be good if you could just go up to a cafe and be like, hello, my name's Charlie. Would you like to get some coffee one day? Go from there, you know what I mean? Like the good old days.
Sydney to 303. Sorry guys, can we keep you in for an assault to immediate?
303, no problem. So I've got a female that's been assaulted by her partner with injuries to the face, possible broken nose. Police are en route.
Charlie and Danny have been called to the scene of a domestic assault. Police will arrive first to secure the patient's safety so paramedics can treat her.
The domestic violence jobs are definitely the harder jobs. It's like a pit in your stomach. I mean, I know the heat brings out agitation and short tempers, but sometimes we walk into situations where we're the first on scene and police aren't there, and there's still an angry husband or wife on scene that can be quite aggressive, and protecting the patient is paramount. You need to secure the scene not only for your patient but for yourself as well. Oh, sweetheart. So I've got a female that's been assaulted by her partner with injuries to the face, possible broken nose. Police are en route.
Charlie and Danny are travelling to the scene of a domestic assault. They're just minutes away.
Domestic violence, it's so prevalent in our society these days. Like 1 in 6 women. That means that there are cops and ambos and doctors and nurses and lawyers and all sorts of professional women that know what this is like. I have been unfortunate to be part of that statistic. It's my responsibility to be, as helpful as I can for that patient. Hello, darling. Oh, sweetheart. My name's Danny.
Hi.
Hi. Where is he right now?
He's in that house.
Is he with police right now? Okay.
Now the patient is safe, Danny can assess her injuries and transport her to hospital.
So did you lose consciousness at all?
I think I blanked out for a minute. He strangled me first.
Yeah.
But I ran. But then he kicked me down. He had me down and he was just kicking into me.
Was he barefooted or a boot?
He had shoes.
So you've copped multiple stomps to the face.
Yeah.
We're not trained to the extent of social workers. We're there to look after their health, essentially, and limit the amount of damage that has been done to them physically, and trying to, just offer that support on the way to the hospital, really. Has this ever happened before?
Yeah.
All right.
But not this bad. I've always managed to escape from him. He got me this time so bad. I've never given him the opportunity to really get me.
Good on you. You've gotten away. You've done everything that you can and you've called us. You do what you can to get out of there.
I just needed somewhere safe.
Yeah. It takes a lot of strength to walk away from something like this. How's your pain? All right.
I just don't know why he did it. He had no reason. I did nothing wrong.
You haven't done anything wrong whatsoever. This is all on him.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
Yeah. When I hear them tell their story and describe the things that they're going through, it's sometimes quite hard to stop myself from becoming emotional. The Danny on the inside just wants to wrap her up in the biggest hug and just let her know that everything's going to be okay.
I just walked in and next minute he's on me.
So you've had kicks to the face. You said at one point...
He hit me first.
Yeah. Has there been punches as well?
There might have been one or two, but he kicked me mainly.
Okay. I really wish there was a little bit more understanding of how complicated these situations are. It's never that simple. Like, these are two people that have a history together. Have you ever sought any kind of help from domestic?
The times that I try to see domestic violence officers, he tells me everything's going to be all right and he'll never do it again.
They say that, don't they? It's pretty isolating, and that feeling of helplessness can stop you from saving yourself. You don't deserve to put up with that. You know, this kind of thing always gets worse.
I know he's getting worse, but I can't get away. It's too hard.
With this behaviour, it gets worse and worse until the worst possible outcome happens and your family loses you. That's how this ends. Letting her know that she doesn't have to go through any of this alone is pretty important. All right, sweet. You're just going to come out the back doors now, okay? You walk away from those patients just hoping that something you've said or done has made a little bit of a difference in their life. You don't get to see the results, so you're just left with that hope that something has worked.
Imagine what it'd be like to be in a relationship like that.
It just sucked. Because there's all that emotional abuse that comes with it. The whole beat the crap out of you and then immediately show remorse and say you're sorry, I love you, all that sort of crap.
Yeah.
And then make you feel guilty thinking that you deserved it somehow. Yeah, and you go back.
Yeah. Poor thing.
There's a lot of shame that comes with being a so-called victim of domestic violence, and I really wish that we could wipe away that stigma, because they don't deserve pity. They deserve understanding and support.
Ambulance emergency, tell me exactly what's happened.
So I've had a female on the platform. She is feeling ill and vomiting. She's been up the mountains all day hiking, so she potentially maybe have heat stroke.
It's 3 p.m. in the control centre and there's still no relief from the heat or heat-related calls.
There's an old man in here and he's on the verge of collapse. He's severely dehydrated, shaking, very old.
And this 74-year-old lady has gone into the steam room at a leisure centre and she's collapsed twice.
I only have to walk outside in this uniform to be in a steam room.
In New South Wales, around 45% of emergency calls are for elderly patients.
All right, I'll try and send my best-looking paramedics, OK?
Okay, then.
The risk of heat-related illnesses increases in people over 65.
Breaks my heart. 92, 93 in March, suffering from heat exhaustion in Bathurst, which would have been in well excess of 40 degrees today.
It worries me because the oldies they just don't tend to spend money on air conditioners. So fans really aren't going to cut it, I think, in these temperatures.
Ambulance emergency, tell me exactly what happened. The man that sits on my lawn has collapsed and he's barely able to walk. Do you have a history of heart problems? No. Okay, I'm organising help for you now.
75-year-old man mowing lawn collapsed.
Oh, it's too hot to be mowing your lawn.
In Western Sydney, Charlie and Danny are responding to the heat-affected patient. Outside, it's 41 degrees.
This is my 8th summer that I have worked. Most of it has been out west, where it is the hottest. 40 degrees is probably not the most comfortable kind of heat. It lends to some unexpected events and, you know, that's when accidents happen. G'day, mate. What's your name?
Arthur.
Arthur. Nice to meet you. My name's Danny. This is Charlie.
G'day, Arthur.
I understand that you went down on the stairs out the front there. I'm going to check your blood pressure and see how that's faring. I think we found the culprit. Your blood pressure's sitting at 100 systolic. Has it ever been that low before?
No.
No. Yeah, it's on the lower side of normal. What I'd like to do is just stand you up and see how you feel when you stand up, and I'll check your blood pressure again and see if there's any drop or change. An elderly person working in such significant heat, it's not unexpected to see them have a faint, but something so simple, something so mundane could spell something more serious. Did you have any glasses of water after this episode?
No, nothing at all.
All right, you can have a seat down again. Thanks. Yeah, your blood pressure does drop when you change position. Did you lose consciousness for a long time, or no? You just felt so faint you went down to the ground. So there was no... Yeah, you caught him.
I caught the head.
And then you caught the head, the most important part. Good on you. Good wife. Oh, I love it. How did the two of you meet?
His mother died.
Right.
And I sent a sympathy card.
Ah.
And I've got a letter back asking who I was.
Well, there you go.
We met in September, engaged in December, married in March.
You're joking. I've got a bit of a soft spot when it comes to the elderly. I guess because they are more vulnerable than your average person out there in the community. You try a little bit harder to keep an eye out for them. What it looks like is that you're just moderately dehydrated. We would always recommend a trip up to hospital just for some tests and make sure that everything's okay, and make sure that you get to that right level of hydration again, and make sure that there's nothing sinister underlying, because our tests that we do in the home are very basic.
Yeah, we'll just get on the safe side.
Yeah, you happy to come up?
Yeah. Alrighty.
No worries.
Arthur's condition is currently stable, but he requires transfer to hospital for further tests and rehydration.
Your lawn looks good.
So this is your place?
No, it's Jones.
You're mowing your friend's lawn? Right, so you've been mowing a few people's lawns in all this heat.
Yeah.
It's a small miracle you've managed to stay hydrated.
I'm bloody stubborn, too stubborn.
It's particularly important with our elderly to take those extra precautions, especially if they've lost consciousness at any point, because something as simple as a bump to the head or, you know, a little palpitation here and there, they could be the symptom of something more serious. I think this is a perfect way of your body telling you you're not 35 anymore, it's time to slow it down and enjoy your 70s.
Yeah, well, just they were so long and had to be done, you know, didn't want to get any worse.
It could get done at 7 o'clock tonight, it's all good. It's such a warm and fuzzy feeling having people like that in the ambulance. Woo, such! Getting to know little snapshots of people's stories. It's one of the best parts of the job, really.
It's been a hot day, but a late storm is finally bringing some relief. At the control centre, though, calls aren't slowing down.
Emergency, what town or suburb?
It's Sydney Domestic Terminal 2. The female has fainted. They've commenced CPR. She's not breathing.
Okay. You've obviously got your defibrillator on scene there and everything?
Yes, here.
Expect a 9-9 proceeding to the airport for a code 2.
Multiple units, including intensive care paramedics, are sent to cardiac arrests. Dispatched to coordinate them and the scene is Duty Operations Manager Mick.
Knowing that this patient's in cardiac arrest, it's important that I stay very calm so I can concentrate on overseeing exactly what's going to happen.
At the scene, airport personnel are already conducting CPR. Mick is following a general duties ambulance. They're just 5 minutes away. An intensive care team is also en route with an ETA of 8 minutes.
Thanks, Jeff. A lot of people, when they do their first aid training, they're very, very fearful because it's probably the worst event that could happen to somebody. It's the event that happens before you die, is a cardiac arrest. Sydney Airport is one of the busiest places that we attend. I'm thinking about how we're going to get the person off the aircraft if they're still on the aircraft. How we're going to get them off the aero bridge, how we're going to get them out of the terminal. Still unconscious? Well less than 10% of out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survive. Patients critical and their chance of survival is very, very small.
So, everybody, just nice and quiet for 1 minute. We'll tell you what we're going to do.
After disembarking a flight at Sydney Domestic Airport, a woman is in cardiac arrest.
Can I just move all this out of the way, please?
99, thanks.
An intensive care team is en route and Duty Operations Manager Mick is responsible for her treatment.
Everybody, just nice and quiet for 1 minute. We'll tell you what we're going to do.
The patient's heart had stopped for several minutes.
You're going to be able to get something there.
But has been restarted with a defibrillator.
So the lady now has a good, strong pulse.
Despite having a pulse, the patient is still unconscious and needs oxygen to prevent brain damage.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to get IV access, and then what we're going to try to do is, I think she's a bit light now, but we'll try to put an LMA in.
With the patient's breathing unstable, Mick is preparing to place an advanced airway to assist.
And what we probably need to do as well is set up for a 12 lead.
I think it's important to know the responsibility we have as paramedics. However, considering that their life is in my hands, I think I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous at all.
I'm going to put a Goodell's in, but I don't want her to vomit.
I've lost count how many cardiac arrests I've done. It's a very hard job because the difference is this patient's either going to live or die.
Hello? Can you open your eyes for us?
She's conscious now, so we won't put a Goodell's in. Hello, my name's Michael, okay? You've had a turn at the airport, okay? We think you've probably had a little heart attack. Okay, your heart actually stopped and we've had to do CPR on you. We're going to take you to hospital, okay?
The intensive care team arrives and will monitor the patient as she's transferred to hospital.
You right with that? Okay, don't hurt your back, just nice and slow.
Around 40% of patients re-arrest when resuscitated away from hospital, so observation is crucial.
3, and we'll head down the stairs. Yeah. You're doing really well, darling. Raining in Sydney, eh?
This lovely lady, after suffering a cardiac arrest, probably didn't know where she was. Holding her hand, stroking her face, talking quietly and calmly to her and telling her who we are, what we're doing and what's happening is really important.
Fabulous job by everybody.
There's a less than 10% chance of surviving an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. And of course, if you are going to survive, the place to have a cardiac arrest is where there's a lot of people around. And of course, one of those places is the airport. There's a lot of first aid trained people there. There's police, there's firefighters, and there's a lot of defibrillators. So 100% she's the luckiest woman in Sydney today. Any paramedic would be lying if they didn't go home and say some days they have bad days, but some days we have really good days. And take the good with the bad.
At the Sydney Control Centre, it's the start of the night shift, and calls regarding intoxicated patients are coming in.
Ambulance emergency, tell me exactly what's happened.
My husband has had something too much to drink and he started coughing in his sleep and he can't get up.
My son's not breathing properly and I'm trying to rush him to the hospital. He took a drug.
Okay, what did he take?
Ice.
Okay, did he take anything else apart from the ice?
No.
He just hit him straight in the face and he dropped backwards and hit his head on the concrete. And he is lost.
Having been a paramedic for 10 plus years, there's a noticeable difference between the nightlife in Sydney over the summer. There's a lot more people in and out of licensed premises. It can also mean a fair bit of alcohol-related harm.
167. I've got a 20-year-old male here. Looks like he's fallen approximately 3 metres.
Inspector 67, copy that. Negative code 2 and a long fall POTS point.
Duty Operations Manager Jordan is reassigned to the scene of the long fall. He's 4 minutes away.
The caller has said that a male has fallen greater than 3 metres and he's sustained some sort of head injury. And that's significant for us because if a fall's greater than 3 metres, it meets our major trauma criteria.
A major trauma accident requires multiple crews. Jordan and 2 other ambulances will attend.
We've gone past this nightclub a couple of times this evening. It's really been raging all night, so I'm not surprised now that we're responding to a serious incident here. A fall greater than 3 metres can very easily be fatal. When you add the element of height, the risk of more serious or catastrophic injuries really spikes. I'm thinking fracture to his long bones, fractures to his arms and wrist, potentially spinal cord injuries as well. You're also thinking open and closed head injuries, so there is a really significant mechanism for very serious injuries in this guy.
Duty Operations Manager Jordan is at a nightclub where a man has fallen from a height greater than 3 metres.
I think he's possibly landed like on his chin, hey, but maybe onto this. Yeah.
He's pretty drunk, or?
He's very drunk.
Yeah.
The top of
that?
Yeah, so he slipped down
and it's not down.
Witnesses say the man climbed over the first floor balcony and slipped. He's fallen approximately 5 metres into a concrete wall before landing face first on the pavement.
Those injuries could alter the course of his life. Quick blood pressure on him, Joe.
Yeah, I'll
so, I've seen young people that have suffered incredibly because they might have done some silly stuff and it's changed their lives forever. Let's focus on getting the bed set up here, maybe some collars as well. I think the times that these jobs become more challenging is when the person who's fallen is impaired by alcohol.
My name's Jordan.
What's your name?
Jesse.
Jesse.
I have feelings like
Yeah, but that's why we've got to put this collar around your neck. Is this guy confused because he's just had 10 beers, or is he confused because he's hit his head and he's got a slow bleed onto his brain?
Because alcohol can mask more serious injuries, Jordan takes all spinal precautions and will transport the patient to hospital to check for internal injuries.
We're only doing it because you've had a decent fall. Yeah.
How are you? Just keep your head still.
Stay still, champ. We're going to put this thing on.
No worries.
So this could be a little bit uncomfortable getting it on me. Sorry.
I'm sorry about all this fuss.
It's all right, mate.
No, I just want to say I greatly respect what you guys do.
Thanks, pal. Legend.
Sticking out for everyone like me.
Nah, it's all right. You're all right.
You
look like you're having a good time.
I am having a good time, I'll say that.
Too good a time. My advice to young people is look after one another, because it's easy for bad things to happen, and you should call us and we will come and care for you without judgment.
Despite the height of the fall, initial assessments haven't uncovered any life-threatening injuries. But the patient will undergo a series of tests to rule out any serious trauma.
Just doing this to have a quick look at your heart again, mate, just as a precaution. One of the most important things about being a paramedic is reassurance, and it's not always just reassurance of the patient. He's had a fall off a sort of landing, and he split his chin open and he split his lip open as well, all right? But he's conscious, he's talking to us. He might have had a brief loss of consciousness, but there's no sort of obvious injuries other than those injuries to his face, okay? All his vital signs, blood pressure, heart rate, all of those are really normal. He's happy to quickly have a chat to you. 1 second.
Hey, Mum. Sorry about this.
This could be a very different phone call. I've been to other cases before where people have fallen from the same height and unfortunately died as a result of that fall.
Bye.
Whose phone's this?
I have no clue, eh? What's the fall?
5 metre fall.
Oh. No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not even lying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, you did pretty well for a 5 metre fall.
Look, yeah, I think I've got to say, hey.
Because you're such a positive guy and all.
I said I didn't want to go because I just wanted to go home, to be honest.
I know, mate, but you've cut your whole lip open.
Have I?
Yeah, and you put your teeth through your lip.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Your modelling career's over. The most rewarding part of the job is being able to support and bond with your fellow human beings in those difficult times. It's kind of pretty powerful to stop and think that there are people walking around today who wouldn't be because of stuff that I might have done over the last few years.
Next time,
some significant and very heavy bleeding.
an emergency labour.
Laying there like that, can you feel the baby moving?
And a complex extraction.
We have a big inflatable hover map.
Create a race against time.
What are these people doing?
Just have a feel around your head and down your neck.
While a horror day on the roads.
Airbags deployed.
And in the air.
So I'm heading towards the airport.
We're going to bomb through.
Puts paramedics
Pick up full command vehicle and major incident.
in the danger zone.
This is my job. This is what I do. This is real.